it's very sweet when people say that we were waiting, we always knew you had it in you, but we were waiting, all of us, for you to get that author-backed role.
There's one very like strong moment where Yami's standing there and all this is suspense is just like building up, and she looks at this kid and she's like, "Flush." I love it. Recently, Angad and me went out for an event and they were like, "Acha, Angad ji, aapka agla project kya hai?" and all that. And then they looked at me and they were just like, "To aap yahan hain, to bachcho ka dhyan kaun rakh raha hai?" You're like, you have to stop asking us these questions.
When some people started drawing reference to some of my favorite actresses whom I live up to, I mean, I don't even think I'm capable of taking her name, but like Smita ji, I've always said, and when I read it actually in one of the compliments, I'm like, I am galaxies away from the talent that she was. I heard Hema ji's interview somewhere that, things just changed for me overnight. Suddenly I was offered roles. It's the same me, it's the same age, it's the same thing, but just because I was married, suddenly the roles have just changed overnight.
A few years ago, like, it was marriage and pregnancy and sabbatical and comeback. Like, these words are synonymous to, hey, this one's tied the knot, and then now what?
These are rare occasions when we get together to celebrate the success of a film. And I mean, isn't it amazing that we have the cast here with us of A Thursday? I have with me Yami Gautam and Neha Dhupia. Welcome. How are we doing?
Hi, Shweta.
Hi, Shweta. Sorry, Yami, you go ahead.
No. I think we can practically, by the end of, interviews, all the co-actors can literally speak on their, co-actors' behalf and literally answer, because we've heard so much about each other.
So true.
So yeah, big hi. Thank you, Shweta, for being so kind, for showing your love. I loved your video on the terrace. I showed it to my sister. I showed it to everybody around, and this was so sweet.
No, and I like I was telling you, it's very genuine because I really liked the film. And not just one or two characters, just the entire film, and how all these actors, all of y'all, you just bring so much to the table. You just bring so much in terms of the film, and that connects with the audience. Koi bhi aisa nahi tha ki it's a small role. I mean, every role had such an impact, and I think that is something that I really liked about the film. And of course, it's a thriller, so I was like, bas kuch acha hona chahiye, end mein aisa na ho ki that was not the case. So I'm glad that it was amazing. But I want to know from you, ye to wahi mera response tha, what is the response like for the both of you? Because I'm sure that you're bombarded with messages on social media and elsewhere. Tell me a little about that. How's that been like, and did you anticipate it?
The praise is endless, starting with and way more for what Yami has done as Naina Jaiswal. But still, keep it coming. It's such an overwhelming experience. It's not like we work on many projects to get to this one project that leads to this, and it's and it's not like, it's almost like we do good scripts, but you can't continuously hit the jackpot. And a thriller is such a difficult genre to actually be liked across the board. And the subject that we're dealing with is so heavy, but it's so great that everyone's loving it.
Yami, what about you? I mean, I see all these praises coming your way, where, people are comparing you to these legendary actresses and whatnot. Tell me a little about how has it been going?
Thank you, Shweta. Thank you, Neha. I think it's been really overwhelming, and no matter how occupied I am and in the middle of interviews and a couple of other things, but I do make it a point to read quickly again what people are feeling, because it means a lot to me. This film meant a lot to me right from the time when I read it, and I said yes to it. I knew it was going to be something special, and I don't say things just for the effect. I'm not saying every time that we promote something is outstanding or is amazing, but you got to give it that respect and try and get as much audience as possible. But in the heart of your heart, the truth about that film.
Yeah.
You can't lie. And for about a Thursday, I always knew that Nena is special. Nena is going to stay with you. She stayed with me, and she's going to stay with you. And uh, for reasons which are different for each one of us.
Yeah.
But what it's done is that every message, I mean, social media has only, certain characters, you've got to meet a certain number only. But they mean so much of, it's not just they've loved the performance and the performance was different, but it felt like the character really, or the story, the film, everybody who's part of the team, they've done something to them. And the kind of personal messages I've been getting, they're all those long messages, that it's very sweet when people say that we were waiting, we always knew you had it in you, but we were waiting, all of us, for you to get that author backed role, or that role which could just be a different turning point in your career altogether, etc., etc. So it felt real. It feels really good. It feels that the very fact that Neha and I, we were all talking with some of your colleagues, that the idea is to never give up. This place can test you. You feel vulnerable at times, you feel low at times, you can doubt yourself, or whatever, but then another day comes, get up again and get going. And I think it's an outcome of, I think, 10 years of hard work and patience, and to many more years of again doing something which is different, and to keep telling you different stories. And when some people started drawing reference to some of my favorite actresses whom I live up to, I mean, I don't even think I'm capable of taking her name, but like Smita ji, I've always said, and when I read it actually in one of the compliments, I'm like, I am galaxies away from the talent that she was. What we are trying to do now, or the conversations we are making right now today, about role of women in today's society, times, or film industry, etc., etc. She's done it back then. Likewise, so many other legends. I was just, I think I had a very, very peaceful sleep. Like it was a very surreal feeling for me just to read my name in that same context. That's it. And it's given me so much confidence now, even more, that I think come back again, start a new one, forget everything, again get back to ground zero, start from scratch. That anxiety will always be there, that nervousness will always be there. Acha, ye character kaise karna? That's the life of an actor.
Okay, I also want to know, do you have any favorite scenes from the film? I mean, there's so much that's happening in the film.
Should I tell them my favorite word?
Favorite word?
There's one very strong moment where Yami's standing there and all this is suspense. It's just like building up. And she looks at this kid and she's like, flush? I love it. I love it.
Yeah, when she started.
I don't know if you remember. And then there's this, yeah. And then, yeah, some bits are nice. I like also a little bit of comic relief when, I tell him to seal off the theater, then he goes in. That scene is very nice. The intense scenes are very nice, of course, and the climax, but that's pretty much it's hard to out of a film that you have done, and it becomes a favorite of yours, and then to pick up but for me, the way Yami says that. Can somebody make a GIF? Whoever watches this, please make this GIF and send it to me. I'm going to post it.
I told Neha also, we're watching it together, and I said I just those small things, which she's doing with Lokhande, where it's like, "Arey ma'am, बैठिए ना ma'am kursi. अरे चल, तू बोला." Those small thing, because everybody around that's the general sentiment, which is sweet. आप बैठो ना, आप ही करो ना. चल, बोल आगे क्या हुआ.
But that's also how I was feeling, because I was just like, just get this over and done with. It's raining, I'm pregnant, I can finish.
And then of course the climax, for me, we can't talk about it still, but I think that's very, very close to me as a person, as an actor. I think I'm happy that it came out the way we thought we thought of it. So that's very special. The gun part, just on a lighter note, I can tell you that I've been someone who's been petrified of like a sudden blast of sound. It could be a balloon, it could be a firecracker, it could be anything. I'm scared like since a child. Like Diwali, as much as I loved it, but it used to be like this was my perpetual pose. So when you have to shoot fire a gun, that's quite a sound. And and they said, why don't you practice? And Bezad had no idea about this this weird phobia that I had or whatever it is. And he said, why don't you practice? I think it was Bezad and Anuj who was shooting a film. And I said, yeah, no, it's okay, huh? I showed him my practice and it was so bad. I'm sure someone has filmed it. I was so it's just that sound which I'm not comfortable with. Anything that comes with with that sudden thing.
Yeah.
I was so bad. I said, oh my God. I'm sure Bezad got like some kind of literally shock waves running through his body that, oh my God, how is she going to do this scene? This is so important when, she comes out, you see in the trailer also and shoots.
Yeah.
She's like, can you please do it one more time? I said, you know what? It's not going to stop. That's my fear. I don't know right now I've never, I could never make my peace with it. Like I never had balloons in my birthday party. Never. If you want to torture me, just put some balloons in the room. Okay.
God.
And I said, so we'll just go for the take. Because in that take, it's Nena. It's the same person.
Yeah.
Nena's also there. So don't worry, it'll happen. It happened. That's fine. I was fine in the take. And so just some small things. It's an experience I won't forget for a lot of reasons.
Well, I think it's only the beginning, for just the fact that you're bringing us such amazing stories. And like you mentioned about the role of women, it just makes me really happy with the fact that how women are written now, these days with, pehle hota tha ki heroines were just there and they were not practically doing a lot to the story. And, they were there because, of course, a heroine has to be there just for glamour and all of that. But today we have, like, for example, the two of you, apart from that, also Dimple Ji. Like, these are powerful roles, and ऐसा भी हो सकता था कि usually a man is playing like the actors are playing, the male actors are playing all these important roles, and the story is built around that. But we have all of you doing these roles. What I'm saying is also from the audience's perspective that we're really enjoying this, where women are actually coming in the forefront and really headlining projects. What do you have to say from the inside? You actually do see things changing also in terms of the scripts and just the way things are written, or the kind of scripts that are coming to you, to the both of you. Do you see any changes internally as well happening? I mean, I think we do have like a really long way to go, but still do you see like, at least to start there?
Yeah, we were discussing again that if you look at this month, February, it started with, I think, Taapsi's film, then Bhumi, and then there was Gehraiyan, then there was the Thursday, now there'll be Gangubai, and so on and so forth. This is just to name just the release, so this process has been on, I think, since decades back. I mean, we still have had so many legendary actresses who had commendable like command over their craft, and that till today when we watch those films and scenes, that how beautifully they used to emote, what dialogue delivery, what dance and everything, and but I think now is the time where the roles, as you're saying, they're being written keeping in mind, so that there's a consistency in this narrative, in this conversation. It's not just a conversation anymore. It's something which becomes then a part of your culture. I get so happy. And now you have like all my contemporaries, I think they're doing very well. A lot of myths being broken. We are progressing into a society where, like, you have a Neha who's 8 months pregnant, for real. And Bezad was like, if you are ready and you want to work, why can't my cop be pregnant? Because aren't they in real life? Yeah. So you see how these small yet very pivotal things play a very important role in slowly making opportunities for 4 more maybe actors like that. Like, there's so many of my seniors who are married, and there was a notion back then. I heard Hemaji's interview somewhere that, things just changed for me overnight. Suddenly I was offered roles. It's the same me, it's the same age, it's the same thing, but just because I was married, suddenly the roles have just changed overnight. And look, so from where we've traveled to now where it doesn't matter today. I think I'm working more than I've worked in my past 10 years, in terms of also the volume of films that I'm doing.
Yeah.
So which shows that we are progressing towards really like a bigger 2022, and so on and so forth. And this should not stop.
Just to add a little bit, like what Yami is saying, a few years ago, like, it was marriage and pregnancy and sabbatical and comeback. Like, these words synonymous to, hey, this one's tied the knot, and then now what? But it only, it's one of those each one teach one kind of thing. You lead the way, right? And that's the most important thing when it comes to the business. I mean, Shweta, forget anything else. I mean, I came into the city, and then, I remember I set foot during Miss India, and that was 2002, and we're in 22. And I mean, I didn't think I'm going to last 20 years. And I've seen the business through it all, like, ups and downs, family, children, life, all of that. But people have to stop asking this question that I've experienced it till date. Like, that's one side of it. But then there's this whole side that, for instance, even when just till recently, Angad and me went out for an event, and they were like, Acha, Angad ji, aapka agla project kya hai, and all that. And then they looked at me and they were just like, to aap yahan hai, to bachcho ka dhyan kaun rakh raha hai? You're like, you have to stop asking us these questions. Like, I feel like that shift of mentality is going to come through. It's only a matter of time.
Well, I am glad, and you will not forget the experience. We will not forget the film, because I mean, it's so cool, and I cannot, stop saying it, because I really genuinely did find it amazing, and I'm glad that it actually stayed the way throughout, intact, throughout the film. Because I mean, there could have been moments where I mean, there are films where you actually expect a lot, and then in the second half it just goes down the drain. But I'm glad that it only became better, and it only made a lot of sense towards the end, and that's, I think, it's extremely important. And of course, kudos to the writers for that, for bringing it out so well, and also to both of you and to the entire team, you've just nailed with all of your performances, and you've made it the success it is. So yes, that's amazing, and I'm glad that it's all this love and admiration and congratulations coming your way. Well,
Thank you.
I think that's all the time we had to wrap up now, but it was so nice talking to the both of you, and I'm glad we did this.
Thank you.
After. And I'm so glad. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Shweta.
Thank you, Shweta.
Thank you.